Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, here with your hosts Blackjack and Foxtrot, along with our match admin Eisen. We'll be going live on your screens with Division 1 hitting day 4 after an unfortunate couple of delays. Of course, we had the Union Gaming Monkas game. Unfortunately, that could not happen on stream, as I'm sure anyone following us over on social media will be aware of at this point. So, that's of course caused a little bit of a ripple in the standings of Division 1. We'll be looking at that right now, actually, before we get into the game that we actually have on stream. And we'll be getting to that in just a quick second. But looking at the standings right now, you can already tell Union Gaming have definitely benefited from that unfortunate forfeit that Monkas had to call earlier today. They're back on top of the leaderboard once again with a big round conversion ratio, albeit, a slightly anticlimactic way. And apparently Foxy wants to say something. So Foxy, how do you do this afternoon?
I'm actually very amazed and just very hyped for this match. Most definitely was for the first one as well. Union Gaming and Monkas, both of these teams, I've talked about them before. It's always amazing to see them go out at them one on the other, but I guess that won't be happening today with Monkas. Stabbing to forfeit that out of all the things that could happen. But anyways, we'll be taking a quick look at the players in highlight today. That's right, it'll be from Kira Esports and Mischief Gaming, the first matchup. And what I was trying to say with me trying to hop on the mic was I just wanted to appreciate how cute Vortex happens to look in this, but it's not the cute looks that do happen to be grabbing our attention. It's more than that. I'm sure we've got those kill counts just happen to be very, very true to what these players happen to bring out. It'll be Kira starting off on defense rather, excuse me. And that's why we get to see Jaeger, Amar, his favorite operator, 34 frags. Would you believe that? That's just too much. It's not just too much, it's the kind of impact he can have on your team. Vortex averaging about to a 26 kill ratio. So it does come down to not just what these players happen to bring out to their teams, but also that the frag duty that they do happen to bring out is not just numbers. That's just it, people. That was a great tune into the match that we can just get for ourselves some information before we happen to step into it, which we'll be going into right now. The ban phase is already underway, and we'll be catching Mischief Gaming and Kira Esports. I missed it. It'll be Dokubi and Thatcher taken off the board first and foremost, and let's see what more bans they can offer. Over to you, Blackjack.
Thank you for that introduction into the game, Fox. You couldn't have said it better myself, as Dekebi and Thatcher have been banned from both Mischief and Kira's side, respectively. And, the Thatcher ban, very standard, all things considered, on Theme Park. Thatcher is very common when it comes to getting banned at pretty much every single match we've seen so far, except for maybe a few outliers here and there. But other than that, we have a Mira ban coming out from Mischief Gaming. Once again, it's Theme Park, not really surprising, and a Kaid ban from Kira Esports. That is, of course, retaliation for the Thatcher ban right there, because without Thatcher on Theme Park, Kaid is a fairly strong operator, and you don't want to go up against the electrical interference of that kind without having some sort of some sort of say in it in terms of operator bans. Now, of course, we're going to be moving into round one, but one ban, of course, I didn't talk about just a second ago was the Dekebi ban. Mischief Gaming, sure, they don't use Dekebi all the time, but they have been known to emphasize on that operator every now and again to great effect, I do have to say. So the Dekebi ban is a bit of a specific team-based ban in this situation, and that's certainly going to affect how Mischief Gaming goes about playing this match. Excuse me right there. Speaking of Mischief Gaming, with Z Panda, Psycho, Vortex, Round, and Roxanne from the blue team. And from Kira Esports, of course, we've got Shinra, Third, Rats, Deathhammer, and Rattler. The first side of the match is going to be Armory and Throne Room. The usual, if you will. Kira Esports do like this side quite a bit. Excuse me right there, even though as of recently, Armory Throne Room hasn't exactly been always defender-sided, if I do say so myself. Some matches, we've seen attackers take this side a lot more comfortably than second floor bunk or initiation. But given that it's Kira Esports on the defense on Theme Park, I believe the real fight will be Mischief Gaming's and how they go about countering and playing around this defense. You've got the Melusian play, you've got the mute as well. No bandit from Kira, surprisingly enough. But then again, when you can just block off two reinforced walls with one meat jammer, why would you want two batteries that can be
10
shot
seconds to
out just a
go.
whole lot more easier from above, really, especially on that yellow wall? The harder you
5
make it
seconds
for the
left.
attackers, the harder you make it for them to gain intel as well via drones and
Attackers must
other
locate and
remote
defuse the
detonation
bomb.
based gadgets. The better it's going to be for the defending team. You've also got the Vigil, Dethimer, back on that operator. He likes to play the Vigil every now and again, and he does it to great effect. Again, Intel denial seems to be the theme from Kira Esports right here, with the Mute and the Vigil being picked. Of course, there is still some utility being denied with the Jaeger. And of course, Rattler, ever present on that operator. The GSG9 Defender getting droned out right now. But the Vigil's presence will also be found by the drones of Mischief. They're droning all over the place, standard stuff at the beginning, but you've got operators in odd places that Mischief needs to go through first. You have the roamers, you have the lurkers, and I thought in the meanwhile, going towards the main arcade entrance, going up arcade stairs actually, while you have another one just sitting inside of a drug lab and storage by the window actually, waiting for somebody to jump in. That's Rats, but he seems to be just dancing around in the region, not really peaking per se. He's not getting overexcited. Of course, he has Rattler for support, for help there in that situation. Rattler, very aggressive, peeking the window wide. He's gonna actually fall back nice and quickly, make sure that he doesn't get taken out early. Kid Esports, of course, needs to avoid that, but Deathermer, he's going to get tracked by the Jackal. That's the first instant of Mischief. Trying to take control, trying to take the initiative. But are they going to be able to? Not quite yet. The Jackal scans are happening, but the Vigil is still more than safe in his position. Z Panda, unfortunately, couldn't quite do much, as a new jammer on second floor is going to get taken out nice and quickly. Vortex coming down onto arcade entrance. He's by the desk. He might see when he did, I think, but couldn't get the shot quite there. Goes to the hallway, but can't find the defender. That's Deathermer, who I think is a little unaware right now, but Z-Panda's going to hit some damage, interestingly enough, and Deathermer gets taken down right from behind. That was the Ash creeping up on him at a minute remaining. A big kill for Mischief, as Kid Esports have just lost a big gun indeed.
That's true, Death Thermal getting tracked. This was going to come down sooner or later, but here's the retaliation, I believe, from the side of the defense. You still got Rattler and possibly even Rats out for the roam. Another Jackal track is coming in. The information's being given away. He's trying to pre-fire away Rattler right now. At some point, he's got to connect a shot or two. But look at that beautiful connect from Z Panda. A very good one, just able to catch him off that little white peak of a sprint that he tried to make. But hey, here we are, Shinra trying to stop the attackers from gaining more control and more access on the side. The gas canisters will come out. The shield is only a matter of time till that gets taken care of. And yes, it will. Vortex very quick with what he's trying to do. Z Panda adding up to it with dropping another body. It'll come down to this very difficult 2 versus 5 for the side of Kira Esports, make that a 1 versus 5 as Vortex gets his double. And here's Rats, the sole remaining member from the side of Kira Esports outside the side as well. Trying to get himself a double, not a triple. Almost got the possible denial as well. But here's Psycho once again, always being able to protect herself, or at least with the matter in hand, the diffuser planter. A good attempt from Rats, most definitely. That rotate was something that did put him in that power play position, but just not enough to get himself that clutch. A good opportunity, definitely missed. A 1 versus 5 will not be get to seen today. But here, what we do get to see is Mischief Gaming coming out with a very strong first round. We saw them take map control very easily. Roma's taken care of right off the bat, and that's what we love to see. Mischief Gaming coming out with a very good attack round. Does happen to put this point into perspective that Kira Esports trying to shut down Mischief Gaming because they're the ones on attack with the Dokubi ban is not affecting them. First round, a good start. Let's see what the second round does happen to show us.
I have to say, starting out that strong on Theme Park Attack is definitely going to work in Mischief Gaming's favor in more ways than one. Because as a defending team, you expect to take the first round. You expect to bamboozle the attackers, take a couple of rounds above them before they really start retaliating. That's really just been how Theme Park has flowed for us here at the Pro League. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the case today. Kira Esports not starting out too strong, getting taken out by multiple angles. Even that yellow breach was more of a line of sight that Rats tried to take advantage of, tried to flip the table, if you will, on the attackers, but he wasn't allowed to do that. He got a kill, his second in the round, but unfortunately, that was all he could do given the situation. Now we've headed to second floor. Bunk and Daycare, immediate site change from Kira Esports, knowing that maybe Armory Throne Room might not be the best site for them to attempt right now. They're going to bring in the Mozzie mute combo along with the Goyo. Plenty of operator changes we're getting to see right now, and making sure that the roles stay dynamic between these players. Some, of course, excuse me right there, will be intel based, some will be more frag heavy. But whichever it is, they will need to make sure that whenever Mischief Gaming starts falling into sight, no matter how many attackers remain, they, Kira Esports, are ready for that push. They didn't seem to quite be all there in the last round, and that certainly could use some work as Psycho's going to drone out Cash Stash on second floor. Not going to catch anybody just yet. Probably saw someone towards bathroom. Throws in a drone from Round. And a little bit more droning from Roxanne. It's probably going to find the Valkyrie inside of the bathrooms area, just outside of office. Vortex pushes in, sees something in the hallway, not quite. Looking for Valkyrie cameras and other intel devices that he can. All over the places, the air jabs will go out from Round nice and quickly. Taking care of Cash, a big area, all things considered, especially if you're pushing initiation office. But even for Bunk Daycare, given the way that Kira Esports have set up their hold, the more of these longer lines of sight you can take away from Kira Esports, the better it will be for the attacking team. Rattle in the meanwhile in a gunfight, taking a bit of damage right now on towards control, but Deathhammer peeks out from bathroom. He's still been allowed to play here, and he will take one. Round is off the board. Rattler falls back, reinforces off his entry, and now Z Panda's gonna find a third. Fire back at Kira Esports, 4 versus 4 at the minute 20 mark. He's already inside of sight and taken care of nice and quickly. That is Rats taking another kill. 3 versus 4 right now. Make that a 2 versus 4. Deathhammer fires back again, and Shinra finds another. Roxanne to fall, and Shinra will be the one to finish it off for his team as well. Kira Esports not even playing on site, if you will, playing that initiation game very well, and that office game from Deathhammer was played pretty well as well. All the intel in the world that they could have had in that situation, they did. They knew what they needed to do and executed on that pretty well, all things considered, as we got to see, of course. And with that, the early round equalizer will come in. 1-1 is the scoreline, of course. It's merely only been 2 rounds. And we're going to be heading to first floor Armory and Throne Room once again off the back of that great play by the side of Kira Esports. The third round, we're going to see Turv going out of the mute into the Wamai. That's very interesting right there. That's only going to leave Vigil as some sort of information denial. Other than that, it's going to be utility denial based, especially projectile related utilities, which are going to be denied from the side of Kira. That might be the change that they need in this situation. I'm liking this from Kira though. They're changing operators, they're changing roles as and when required for each site, and even coming back, they decided not to bring in the mute, knowing that the walls might not be their biggest issue. It may just be that they didn't deny enough. They're trying something different, and I can definitely commend them for that in this situation.
One thing I think we'll have to talk about is the fact that we saw Valkyrie turning out to be such a good operator in terms of what Kira Esports is trying to bring out. But this round, there's no Valkyrie being brought on board. I was expecting maybe that, hey, MIG is going to have to bring out an IQ with that little massacre that just happened on towards the side of Cash Room. Very good information that the Valkyrie had. Deatham were able to use that all for himself and able to get those kills along with some help from Shinra and Rats. That's just what it was. But more than that, what I'm really interested to see is not having that little excuse me there, not having themselves that little insurance of having a Valkyrie with you. Always that information does happen to trade around. You want to make sure you always have that in control, but this time around though, not gone for it. Maybe that approach to what Blackjack is talking about is definitely changed as to how this side is supposed to be played out, because we saw quite the huge operator role swap coming in as well. Shinra back on the smoke is going to come down to Rats, who will play the Wamai. No, that's the Melusi. Once again, quick confusion. It's almost the same logos at a distance. But yeah, coming back to that, out of that confusion rather, we'll still be seeing Deathhammer roaming on top. He's got some help from Rattler. That's going to come down to a possible pre-fire. He eats up to his head before he happens to touch the ground in the hallway. That's exactly what I'm expecting of it, because we see the drones coming out onto Rattler as well as the Ash, just waiting patiently enough. Rats, he's going to get the first frag. That'll be Z Panda taken off the board. Your Melusi already able to pick up with the frags. Once again, playing the same position though, despite him not being the mute anymore. But here's the first kill from the side of Kira Esports. The second one, rather. The first one for Rattler. Won't be surviving that long enough to just take that kill victory for himself. The refrag does come in quickly enough from the side of Death Hammer, and his job here is done. He's just going to fall back. Psycho and Roxanne, both of these people from the side of the attack, the only ones left alive. They've got to work their way through onto site with only 1 minute remaining.
Well, make that a 1 versus 4. Not too long before Mischief Gaming falls apart, some would say, as that kill was secured by a Thurv. Nicely done, I should say, on Armory and Drone Room. Playing above, denying the attackers any roam clear and entry to make vertical lines of sight and make the site their own. More importantly, emphasizing on second floor, Kira Esports has taken care of multiple attackers. More than that, they put themselves in a very advantageous situation. Mischief Gaming, unfortunately, in this round, collapsing just a bit too early, I would say. And we're going to have to look at that later on when we get to relive the moment to see where this round really went awry. But Deathmar, well, he's going to see him. Roxanne gets taken out, but not before he found a Thurv. Nice and quickly took care of the Wamai, but Deathmar, of course, he had his sights locked on the Slash. There you go. Just one tap, done. Let's get on to the next round. That is the fourth one, ladies and gentlemen, going into this 2-1 situation for Kira Esports. Once again, on the defense theme park, it's not surprising that the defensive team have taken the lead. They're going to be heading towards second floor initiation room and office in fourth round, given that they've already taken care of Bunk and Armory back to back. And of course, while we have seen Drug Lab and Storage come out on first floor before on theme park, I don't think today is going to be one of those days, at least not from Kira Esports. Rats, in the meanwhile, has taken over the mute, leaving a Thurv free to 6-pick out of the Wamai into the Ella, bringing in a little bit of push denial / punishment, if you will, with those Gershmot mines. Sure, they no longer mess with the operator's sensitivities, mouse sensitivities, that is, when you get hit with one, which is actually one of the better things about the Gershmots these days. But all things considered, it is still a very huge disorienting effect. The only one who can realistically go up against that is Zofia, or if your team is running a Finka, then you can recover from those effects very quickly. Those are the two big counterplays to Ella's Gershmots, but unfortunately, I'm not seeing either a Finka nor Zofia from Mischief Gaming, so they will definitely have issues with any Gershmots that catch them in unfortunate situations. So Thurv is going to have to put them down nice and carefully, and he's doing that towards the arcade stairs region. So it looks like he himself might be playing out towards that arcade stairs area, maybe inside of a daycare or bunk, just to make sure that he gets good emphasis on that particular region that his Gershmots are covering. Of course, he's not going to be the only one playing in that region. Of horizontal roam pressure is something that Kira Esports does quite a bit of when it comes to theme park. Quite a few maps, all things, now that we have seen them for this long. But on theme park, horizontal pressure is something that is definitely a big thing for attackers to have. Shinra's on a Valcam, and this is quite the camera indeed. He's giving intel to his teammates while being right next to Cafe at the same time. I gotta commend that. But Rattler, he's coming up, dragging stairs, nice and close. He's actually gonna see Z Panda, does a bit of damage to the IQ. Can't quite get the kill though, unfortunately, but he didn't take any damage back is the big plus point for him. Well, EBC knows Panda looks away at arguably the worst time in that situation. And the IQ will merely be low on HP. Deathmar wants to go for a run out? Question mark? No. Breaks the barricade twice. Doesn't go all the way through with it. He's on his cam. He knows that there's a Nomad right outside the door, waiting for her to go still. But round is just gonna fall into cash nice and quickly. Rattler as well, roaming down below. Quite a few roamers down below we're seeing, and a C4 I believe came out, but that did not work. Deathmar C4 used up, minute 30 on the clock. You have an attacker going very close to side, and a Thurv will be caught off guard. That's going to be a big kill. Vortex starting things off once again, taking down the Ella 5v4. Shinra's made his way back. He's been spotted as well. Will he be taken care of? No, not quite. Nearly finds Vortex. That's two attackers, very low on HP, but Shinra himself will be down. Where did that come from? Was that? That may have been Rattler. I have to say, not the best situation to down your own teammate in. The revive will come in, but now Shinra's low on HP. Rattler's caught off with an air jab. Minute remaining. It's all going to come down to the dying seconds of the round. And Kira Esports definitely have something to say. Not quite. Psycho's going to find one more. That's Deathmare off the board. And there's another, or from Psycho, excuse me. Rats goes down. And one more from round 5 versus 1. It's all down to Shinra. He's taken one, and he will be only getting one kill this round. A full 4-man push, well, 5-man push into sight with only one casualty. Good round from Mischief Gaming. Not so much from the side of Kira Esports, as we'll be going into yet another equalizer. 2-2 is the scoreline going into the 5th round. And I have to say, this one is shaping up to be quite exciting indeed.
Can I just tell something right off the bat? The fact that Mischief Gaming is coming up with very simple rounds, just the simplicity in their attack is beautiful. We don't see them doing anything out of the ordinary. They're not going for any reverse rappels or this breach, that breach, none of that. It's just essentially coming down to the information that they get in the beginning of the round and that they're able to work around it. We get to see always two people on the drones able to give so much information to everybody else who's pushing. And even when the drone people, I mean, the people who are droning, they do come out of the drone phase, they stop scouting. They're able to give as much as that complementing factor to their teammates as well. Just able to get those skills on time. It does not essentially have to come down to so many things that you need to coordinate while trying to get frags, because they are able to play this just like Kira wants them to, or rather, if I may say this, just like Mischief wants them to. It's coming out to be a very simple attack round that's working out for them. That's I think that's something many teams can take note of. You know, trying to do 10 things at once just does not work out for so many teams. You might as well try and keep things simple. Keep it a little more under your control. Make the approach a little more viable, I guess. But that out of the way, we'll be seeing Mischief Gaming perform 2 more rounds into this attacking phase that they've got for themselves. And just like Blackjack said, the round before this one, it was evident that, hey, we have the defenders taking advantage on a defensive map. It's very common. It's natural. That's exactly what we're getting to see. But this fight back from Mischief Gaming is what I'm really loving. This does happen to put things into perspective that when they do happen to go to the defensive side in the second half, what's going to be the outcome? Is that going to be Kira Esports will not really be able to stand up against them, or is that going to come down to Mischief Gaming just able to perform better or not? That's so many questions and so many so many fluctuations between my mind into predictions that I tried to make. But hey, this is of course Division 1. Anything can happen. And there you go, Death Hammer with the opening frag on the Malusi. Is going to find round. That's a quick headshot. It's it's going to be a very important pick for the side of Kira Esports now that you do not have no man to play. None of those air jabs, and it's going to come down to some eyes on and hands on watching with the flank. That is, of course, a very tedious job to do. I think it'll come down to the hard breachers just picking that role for themselves. But hey, once again, Kira Esports back at it, taking the fight to them, not wanting to take Mischief Gaming, or rather, not wanting to allow Mischief Gaming into taking a little bit of map control as well. Shutting them down, dead in their tracks is going to have them push them back, rather, excuse me, from the side of Cafe. And that's where the push is coming in from Vortex. Quick peeking around the corner makes the push inside. And that's just a quick take for him. There's just no commotion happening. There's nothing that he's met. No crossfires, no free fires, out of which Rattler is fine one though. Looks like keeping that wall soft after all is the play that we should be going for. Rattler able to get a nice and crispy wall bang. Does happen to put things into perspective. A 3 versus 5 at Mischief Gaming don't seem like they might be able to walk out of.
Well, the way this is going, that certainly could be the situation. 3 versus 5, and Mischief not in a good way. Rattler is going to find the nook in the meanwhile. That's Z Panda taken care of. Unfortunate. Coming up arcade stairs and getting found. Rattler still trying to go for more, and he's going to get one more. That's Roxanne off the board. Now it's a 1v4 as it's all down to Vortex. The Ash, last man standing, recovers. No, he can't exactly recover the diffuser because it's in the hands of the Legion. A third has done it, but Vortex has fallen back into offices. Can he get somebody from this long angle he's found on towards arcades? Not quite yet. A third, he's watching that rotate actually. Can he get the Ash in time? He's gonna see him and take him out nice and quickly. Unfortunate, but Vortex will not be catching any more kills, not this round. Kid Esports once again, a comfortable round for them. as we'll be continuing on to the next round of action. But before that, of course, the instant replay going live on your screens right there with a good good play from the side of Kida Esports in the entirety of the round, especially right towards the end. Radler, he was the one pretty much spearheading the defense throughout the entire round, and he did it pretty well. 2-3 is the scoreline as Kida Esports now have the lead once again. And Mischief Gaming, while they may have taken 2 rounds on attack, they need to take one more, put themselves on a 3-3, and start things afresh on defense. Give themselves that defender-sided advantage, the most that they can do in the situation, and that is gonna be definitely a very interesting
Defenders,
round
protect your
mark,
bombs from being
around
defused by
7 mark,
attackers.
if you will. Should we get to that, it could be a 4-2. Kid Sports could take this round, give themselves a bigger advantage going into attack, and make things that much harder for Mischief Gaming, who, even if they go into defense, will be facing against Kira's attack. And sure, Kira's attack isn't exactly something that set the world on fire before. It is one to be feared regardless in this situation. Round 6 will be underway with the site being Armory and Throne Room on first floor. Going back to where it all began for QA Sports, in a way,
10
if you
seconds to
will.
go.
And this time we have a Turf playing the Pulse. He seems to like to change
5
operators
seconds to
every time
insertion.
they go to this site. The first round, it was Mute. Excuse me right
Attackers
there.
must
The
locate
first
and
round
defuse
we
the
had a
bomb.
Mute. The second
Attackers
round I believe we had a
drop the bomb
Wamai, and now the third time around we have a Pulse coming out from that. I like the change of operators, but we're gonna see if it works out the way he wants it to. As currently Kid A Sports, looking back at this site, are going 1-1, if you will, as they won it once and lost it once, and now that they're going back to it, it's gonna make things a little bit less predictable, if you will. At least that's how I feel in this situation. Vortex sees the visual on the drone, and Deathamar does go invisible to the drones, but a little bit too late in that situation. Didn't have his gadget up, got found, and he will fall all the way back to break room. The drone still manages to get away, and that will still be a call out that the visual is around that break room bunker area, given that his exact location is hidden from the drones, visually speaking, but you still get an interference around the edges of your drone screen should he hide himself. Rattler, in the meanwhile, very low on HP. Not sure which fight that was, excuse me. Could have been the one towards Cafes. He will be the one marked, but Etherbs, the C4 will find Vortex. The Ash goes down. Beautiful C4 to start things off for Kita, as now suddenly Mischief are the ones in the disadvantage because Rattler, he's low on HP, but he's still alive and falling back to site pretty much successfully from the looks of it. It's going to make things a whole lot harder for the attacking team. They haven't taken a single body yet. Deathamar's fallen back as well from the looks of it. And I don't see Rattler inside of sight. Curiously enough, he might still be lurking around first floor, not necessarily going back all the way to site, but second floor's control has pretty much been given away to the attackers, surrendered, if you will. Kid Esports, knowing they can't do too much, they wasted quite a bit of time. Some could say not enough, and some would say quite a lot of time, but regardless, vertical lines of sight will be established nice and quickly. Roxanne with the hammer, bringing it down on the floorboards, taking care of all the lines of sight that the attackers need, but you need to be careful, excuse me, as all things considered, shots will be fired back. Knowing Kia Esports, they will be firing back. 50 seconds left in the round. Mischief are going to have to speed
Bomb
things up
located
soon.
by attackers.
They most definitely will have to, but I really like the fact that Blackjack, you had to point out that Rattler is on 1 HP, but he's alive, and that's exactly all he needs. Being alive does not matter how he on what HP happens to be on. Well, look at this. Rat's greeting the attacker with a head-on bullet. He's going to escape, barely escape, in fact. With the diffuser drop, that's going to come down to some information that he definitely will use and can use. Look at that, the angle being opened up. Free fast coming in as well. Z-Pound has to go for the push-up. But Rats, he's more intelligent than that. He's moved back. He's playing this on time. He's playing it from the clock and by the clock round. Meanwhile, on the double kill. Oh no, Rats happened did not look the corner on his right. And there you go. Z-Pound that gets off the freebie. The plant does it get stuck or not? That's a real question. Round gets a knife on site. Where is this happening? Shinra, the only one left alive. He's gone down too. Round and round. That was the round pretty much, man. That was pretty much who played this round all on his back, carrying this entire round all by himself. In fact, quite literally so. Able to put this situation somehow in the favor of Mischief Gaming. What? Somehow that came down to quite the turnaround. 3-3. with Mischief Gaming on attack. Boy, what are they on right now? They've definitely come out with quite the performance on Theme Park. Even with the bans into place, it most definitely does not shuffle things around a whole lot as much as we expect them to. Here we are staring at ourselves into 3-3. Look at the scoreboard as well. So evenly distributed, except for Raksan, though he's having a bad day, I guess. But that's just not the case. We'll be back onto the second half, which I'm actually interested to find out what's going to happen. All right, I'll let you guys into something. My personal inclination onto seeing Vortex and Rats go at each other is most
Attackers need to
definitely something
locate
that
and
I'm
defuse
always
the
looking
bomb.
to see and find out. So, on a personal scale, this match has already put me up in a very excited mood. That hey, we've got ourselves a 3 versus 3 with two of the people I know very closely myself. So it's most definitely going to come down to a showdown because, far as I know, these two teams as well, for that matter, are very bloodlusted and will not let go of any points that are up for the taking in the TEC's leaderboard. But obviously, with the leaderboard, you with the
Attackers have
points that
located
you
the
happen to
bomb.
accumulate on the leaderboard, you obviously happen to accumulate a lot of that
10
prize
seconds
money
left.
as well. That's right. 2 lakhs up for the grabs for everybody out there who's watching us
Down to
right
5
now as
seconds
well.
to
You
go.
can be a part of it. You can register for the season 5. The registrations are
Attackers
already
protect
live.
the
You can check
lead.
the
Defuse
link
the
in the
bomb.
descriptions and get yourselves to be a part of this action. That out of the way, we'll be underway with the action phase onto this round. That's round 7, of course, the prep phase. Already coming in, a very dynamic preparation from the side of MIG. We are getting to see so many angles being opened up top, just multiple lines of
Attackers bomb
sights and
diffuser has
whatnot
been
being
dropped.
opened, rotations, everything done with the vertical play into mind because
Attackers
of course
recovered the bomb
the site
diffuser.
is not a site you usually go to. I wouldn't say it's not really defendable or something like that, but hey, here we are into the drug lab as the site. Let's see what the action phase will bring us. Over to you, Blackjack.
Well, this is certainly interesting. I was talking a few rounds ago about how drug lab and storage isn't really something that we see too often from teams playing theme park. We have seen it before. That is what I prefaced it with, and looks like we'll be seeing it again today from Mischief, trying something a little different, a little bit more experimental, if you will. And they were doing something similar with against Union Gaming when they were on the defense on Consulate. They kept trying to go to basement archives and first floor tellers, if anybody remembers. Unfortunately, that site wasn't one that they emphasized
Drop
on
the
very
bomb
well, but
diffuser.
Z Panda, beautiful shot right there. He's going to start things off 5 versus 4. His position is given away. He will be seen. Unfortunately, couldn't find the Zofia in time. Gets taken down. The refrag comes in, and Deathermer will take that happily. But now that he's pushed up towards split, he has to be careful of Roxanne, who is currently holding inside of Barrel's room, while Rats is taking a bit of damage as well. Kid Esports looks like they've been taken a little bit aback by the hold being presented to them by Mischief Gaming. Plenty of questions for sure, as Psycho holds on the bathroom with the shotgun. Ooh boy, that's a very powerful shotgun in the hands of the mute for sure. Long range is required. SMG will come out for just a quick second as Deathermer. Will he be seen? Not quite. Roxanne isn't peeking, but he will. But the Aldo doesn't find its target. Not quite yet. The Zofia dipping and dodging around all of these bullets of defenders, at least all of the lines of sight that they have. As speaking of which, you have Rattler going ham on second floor with the sledgehammer, taking care of every single floorboard that he can find and hatches wherever so required. That's the battle room hatch, mind you. Roxanne is sitting there literally, and he will try to fall back, but get taken down. That was probably from Arcade. It was Shinra holding that angle, making sure that there is no escape for the Maestro. That's another big drop, and nearly at 30 seconds, it's going to make things all the more harder, but Vortex fires back. He finds Deathermer. That is the sledge taken care of. Excuse me, the
Attackers
Sophia
recovered the
taken care of. And now, a little bit of a standstill. Calm before the storm. Rats goes into his Inox scanner. Who will he find? And not Vortex, that's for sure. But whoever it is, shots are going to be fired. And one will be taken out. Round takes another. In the meanwhile, Rattler goes down. Round with another one. It's now a 2v1. All down to Shinra. And where is the man? The Sophia has been spotted. But no, excuse me right there. As Psycho will be the one to finish him off. SMG 11 on the mute. And I know I said that the Sophia has been spotted. Do excuse me. I tend to lose track of who's who when it comes to these extremely fast-paced situations. But a good hold, fairly good hold from the side of Mischief Gaming, even though they were losing in terms of some positionings and some, excuse me right there, some positionings and some of their Some of their gunfight selections could have been a little better. They did still take lab storage, and that's what really matters in this situation. They've taken a defensive side, put themselves on the lead for the first time in this game, in this match actually, and now they'll be heading towards second floor bunk and daycare. We've seen all the four sides that Theme Park has to offer, three from the side of Kira, admittedly, but that's a good start for Mischief Gaming. Now heading on to bunk, let's see what
Defenders,
they have
protect your
in
bombs from
store
being defused
to
by
show
attackers.
us and to show Kira Esports.
Mischief Gaming, a team, I think this team is really going out to be that underrated underdog into that division. We are getting to talk about so many other teams that were rather in the top spot in the beginning in the last few seasons that are really happening to slump down to the bottom of the table. But here we are watching this team just able to take advantage of a moment like that when everybody is weak. They are able to strike them at their strongest, I guess. Now that you happen
10
to
seconds
put that
remaining.
equation into perspective, but you come back to this round eight is already underway.
5
Mischief
seconds
Gaming
remaining.
is not looking like they want to get these defensive rounds away to Kira
Attackers need to
Esports. They want to
locate
keep
and
them for
defuse the
themselves. They want
bomb.
to make sure they rack up those scores on the leaderboard because now, 2 rounds away from match point, it's slowly and steadily looking like a game for Mischief Gaming for the taking.
Attackers have dropped the bomb
Let's
diffuser.
see if that's exactly
Attackers
what happens,
recover the
or do
diffuser.
Kira Esports have some mischievous plays of themselves in their back
The
pockets? Let's
attacker's
let's
bomb
find that out
diffuser
as we'll
has
be
been
underway with
dropped.
the action phase.
Attackers have recovered
On
the
to round
diffuser.
8, Psycho with the Melusi pick once again, and quite the change up on the operator loadouts as well. Don't really have any suggestions or anything to go about it. It's just interesting that we're getting to see the Goyo still being employed by MIG very well. That is operator. I really feel a little underrated when it comes down to the way the approach is just taken down by teams. You don't happen to utilize them fully, but that is something I feel like MIG always does, and we've seen them come out with not just this map. It's not just Theme Park. Well, when do we get to see Theme Park anyway? But here we are watching them take Goyo out here onto Oregon and Cafe as well. It's been a relentless Goyo dependency for Mischief Gaming, you can call it. And there's no way you can triple them out of it as well. Because if you're wasting your ban onto the Goyo, there's going to be some more important operators that they can just take advantage of. So, very good strategy combined, whatever Mischief Gaming has been trying to pull up. Look at this, able to waste up enough utility, just falling back and getting the reinforcement done. That's going to come down to more work that the attackers will have to put in. Quick thinking, that is what I'm getting to see from the side of Mischief Gaming. They've been one step ahead of Kira Esports, at least into the second half. So far, I wouldn't get too ahead of myself. Kira Esports is not a team you really want to be messing with. It is, of course, one of the top three teams that we do happen to come around to see every season. But right now, they seem like they might just be in a pinch.
Oh, most certainly. A minute and 10 and under remains, and no kills have been dropped from the side of the defense. No
Attackers have
damage done
located
either.
bomb.
Rattler and Rats have taken a bit of damage instead. So will Shinra right now. The ace trying to push through waiting room. Smoke grenade goes out, but that will merely result in a pre-fire coming his way and a down as well. I don't think that they know he's been down. Nope, there we go. Psycho comes in, finishes off the kill with the Melusi. Shinra is now off the board. That's going to make things so much more harder. Psycho just dodging around all the bullets coming her way, while Roxanne's going to come in for cover, get one, but then Deathmar and Rattler follow up with taking
Bomb
3
located by
down.
attackers.
And now it's suddenly the reverse situation. Psycho manages to get the down onto one more. Rats will fall, but now she's the only one remaining. The Melusi against Zofia, and a sledge. Deathmar coming up to that door of office. Yes, he will. The kill will be taken nice and quickly. And now it's all down to the sledge. Vaults in and gets taken out. It's Psycho, ladies and gentlemen, for the clutch here inside of offices. Diffuser dropped away from sight. All she needed to do was hold. And oh boy, did she hold that to perfection. Get Esports falling apart in that one room alone, regardless of the antics of Rattler pushing in towards sight. It didn't work out for them, and now Mischief are in that much of a larger lead. 5-3 is the scoreline. First floor armory and throne room is the side of choice that we are headed to. The site, interestingly enough, that Mischief will be emphasizing on last in terms of their defensive turnarounds. And I say that because, as we've seen before, as we noted at the beginning of this match, when Kira Esports went to Armory and Throne Room, this site has been one that attackers have been able to emphasize
Attackers
on
need to
as of
locate and
recently
defuse bombs.
very well. At least, excuse me, from what we've seen in the Pro League here. That's going to make things a little bit harder for Mischief Gaming, I would say. Kid Esports' attack is not one to be messed around with, even in that last round.
Attackers have
Just
located
like
a bomb.
Foxy said, you know, they weren't about to take everything, the first few kills, the downs and all that lying down. They fought back hard. They made it into what, a 1v3 that Psycho had to clutch out for her team. And it's more of, it speaks volumes about her skill as a player that we have
10
seen
seconds to
grow
insertion.
over the course of the league as well, that she was able to take that so
5
well.
seconds left
Calm,
before
patient,
insertion.
had callouts from her teammates. I'm pretty much sure of that as well.
Attackers are moving to
That's going to
defuse
make
the
it a
bomb.
5-3 Mischief. Very strong right now on the defense. They can definitely make this match their own. Only 2 rounds to go. Can they do it? Will Kid Esports be dealt to 7-3? Or can Kid Esports fight back because they so
Attackers dropped the
desperately need
diffuser.
to now?
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
The most definitely need to. That's one thing for sure. But hey, it's no doubt that we had Psycho in player in highlight yesterday for these very reasons. That she does happen to be the player in highlights, quite literally. That will be a clip for contest, I'm sure. You happen to come down to the weekly highlights. That was a very good clutch and a very well needed one as well. You look at the scoreline right now, 2 rounds in the deficit. It's just more than that. We're getting to see the 2 rounds of absolute defeat on the face of Kira Esports. We're getting to see that possible push-up that they're trying to make into this situation, into this map that they don't want to find themselves in, but they cannot really cannot but hate but accept the fact that hey, it is of course Mischief Gaming that are looking to stare down into a possible match point situation if they don't do something about it. For now, they'll be doing something about it. They'll be getting map control on top. They're getting some roam cleared on. All right, that's quite the emphasis, and I don't really blame them. Theme Park does come down to a map like this where you have the vertical play established. Even for the roam clear, you want to make sure everything is being accounted for. Vortex trying to be just as sneaky with his gadget, of course. Yeah, the Vigil, you want to be as sneaky as you can. Z Panda, though, that position will get drawn sooner or later, and it's going to come down to him being able to stay undetected for long. Shinra making his way up from the arcade stairs, but Rattler, he's already spotted one of the defenders down below. They're trying to hunt him down, but so far, no eyes on anybody. Even if they have eyes, no conversions on anything. Rats moving up with the jackal that he's got for himself, but wait a minute, Rattler, he's already got a quick refrag onto Z Panda. This might come down to the first frag that Kira Esports just needed to put themselves up in this possible situation to make this a victory.
Oh, most certainly. That could be that very first kill that sets the dominoes in motion. Vortex in the meanwhile getting scanned by the Jackal. He's got to hide for the time being as Selma Breach is coming off from Shinra on that yellow stairs wall. Is going to force the defenders into more positions, more corner positions, if you will, because they now need to hide. Drones are going to go in, and Deathmar, he will be given the call out that the Malusi is very close. Psycho, not in a great position per se, as the ADS will find one, but a grenade comes in to take her out. 3 versus 5 now, as Rattler takes his double. Rats finds one more. It's a 2v5, and the site's not looking too good. Shinra's going for the plant already. There's a smoke grenade covering them. Roxana's found one, but Deathmar, while he went down, Rats came in with the double right towards the end. He was the one to finish off the final kill, and he was the one to win the round for Kid Esports. As we will see in the instant replay, good emphasis on second floor from the side of Kid Esports. They needed that emphasis initially, making sure that the vertical lines of sight, at the very least, scared defenders out of being too carefree with how they roamed around the map, how they moved, restricting their movements, and then falling onto first floor. You had that first initial kill being taken, and just like Foxy said, that was the one that set the dominoes into motion. Effectively speaking, that was the first and most vital piece of the puzzle for the side of Kid Esports. Now that it's a 5-4 situation, a certain site has been unlocked for the side of Mischief Gaming. That's Lab and Storage on first floor, and we're headed right back to this defensive side. It's going to be very interesting indeed, because the first time we came here from Mischief Gaming, there was certainly a little bit of an element of surprise, if you will, given that we don't get to see this site too often. And while I'm sure Kid Esports have certainly thought and given some thought to this site, if you will, practiced it in their sessions and whatnot, it would still be a site that they did not expect initially. But now that Mischief has already gone to this site once, how will they
Seconds
go
left before
about
insertion.
playing around the way that they will set up? Because some
5
tells me
seconds
that
left.
it's pretty similar this round to what we saw in the previous round, and yet there could
Attackers
be
must
some
locate and
differences
defuse the
that
bomb.
make this
Attackers
round
dropped the diffuser.
another Mischief
Attackers
Gaming
have
round.
recovered their diffuser.
Given everything we've seen so far, it is going to be a little bit hard to call because, again, I sort of I sort of half predicted that Kid Esports might go 4-2, but it didn't happen. It's 3-3 right now. And Mischief Gaming, while they've taken the lead, they are yet to get to match point. That's a little bit of pressure on them right there, along with the pressure of going up against Kira Esports, of course, but now you're trying to take match point. Meanwhile, we have a summer breach already going off right on this 90 hallway of yellow stairs. As the Valcam will go out nice and quickly, but the third, he's going to find the Mute Jammer. Emphasis towards Armory Throne Room is coming out, and Kira Esports knows that if they are able to take this particular area without too much issue, then Mischief Gaming will be pushed back just that little bit harder. Last time we came here, the last time we came here, the Sophia Deathamer was taken care of inside of Armory. And that first kill, Deathamer took the refrag. The first kill was taken by the defenders inside of Armory. And that definitely did not help Kira. They did not have the kind of manpower they wanted to be completely sure of their push, and they got taken out one by one. This time they're trying to avoid that, you can tell, but they're going to have to try and push in at some point. Try and get the roamers, and they're doing exactly that right now. Drones coming out at the minute 30 mark. Rats pre-firing away to all glory. So the Malusi will be found in the meanwhile. Shots are going to be fired towards Deathamer inside of Throne right now. And the Jackal scan will come out onto one of their locations. That's Round trying to fall back, but the Valkyrie will get taken out. Z Panda just trying to get inside of Armory right there. It's taken out by Deathamer. Big first drop at the minute 12 mark. And that's going to put Mischief Gaming at a big disadvantage.
But for a second, I thought Amar almost missed this shot on the Z Panda, and we might be in for a ride with a turnaround from Z Panda, but that's just not the case. He finally got that headshot, and here we are. Catching that Valkyrie off sprinting was the best thing to do, most definitely. But quite interestingly, so Vortex and Psycho, both of them so close to this window. I'm expecting some guests from here. I don't think so. Everybody else is up top, and oh, that's a fake C4 attempt from Psycho. It's not going to come down to any conversions, but hey, Vortex, he's looking the wrong direction. Does he know there's somebody on his left? Oh, he does not. Rattler might just be able to take advantage. No, he does. Vortex hears him at the right time. Excuse me, he does get a double kill meanwhile. Raksan, he was there to get that kill onto Atharva as well. So quick kill. Once again, the scoreboard lights up, but Vortex is unstoppable. He gets the man on top. Rats is down, and now it comes down to two people that he's still got to find if he wants his ace. Shinra taking the plant right now. It's going to come down to a possible clutch situation. No, that is not. Deathamer gets his triple. Psycho, meanwhile, will get the planter. A 1v2 for Deathamer to fight against, but the diffuser is already down. All he has to do is play this from the top. He's got the tools that he needs to do this for, and Roxanne solo on HP is going to come down to just be able to bait this out. Oh, a quick headshot could come in, but no, he's not able to see that counter diffuse. Deathamer gets his squad, but he cannot. The diffuser is diffused. That's it. The counter diffuse comes
How?
in, and that was the play from Mischief Gaming.
no.
Psycho once again. Psycho might as well be able to take the woman of the match today. You happen to think of how many impactful frags that she's been bringing on, and how many plants she's gone down with, and how many clutches she's come up with. It's definitely one hell of a match for Mischief Gaming, but more than that, a hell of a match for Psycho. We'll be headed to match point. That's right, 6-4. Let's see what this round holds.
Well, that was certainly one way to end the round, shall we say. Unfortunate, very unfortunate for Deathamer right there. He had a quad, could have even finished off the kill, the final kill, and that happened to be Psycho on first floor lab, getting the counter defuse done with the mute. Unfortunate for Deathamer that he couldn't get the angle. He was stuck trying for so long, but he'd already rotated up to second floor. And, if you cast your minds to where the plant actually happened, there was no angle on the counter defuse from that main arcade entrance door. That would have made it much harder for excuse me, for the Zofia to rotate all the way back, go down the balcony, jump off and try and get the kill. But definitely, one could argue it would have been just a little bit closer. Maybe Deathhammer could have got it had he sprinted fast enough. But unfortunately, it's all in a speculative. It's all going to be in the speculative part of our mind. The Psycho bags another clutch in the match for herself. Excuse me right there. That's gonna make things a whole lot less good for Kid Esports. Why I say that? Because Mischief have taken match point. They are 6-4 up now, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is something Kid Esports did not want to see. You could see in the way that they played the last round, they did not want to have the side of Mischief going into match point. Unfortunate. However, it didn't really quite work out for them the way they wanted it to. It was a risky maneuver from Deathmar for sure to go up there without the impacts and without a line of sight premeditatively put there. And again, I don't think the plant was initially supposed to go where it did in the first place. That, of course, combined with the fact that it was a 1v2 for the man, he had to find the angle, and there was a Maestro constantly shooting above, made things a whole lot harder for him. And unfortunately, he couldn't quite get the line of sight, the play that he needed to. Now that it's 6-4, and now that it's match point, we've headed to Bunk and Daycare on second floor from the side of Mischief. They have taken this match, I wouldn't say by storm, not just yet, of course, but Shinra is trying to emphasize on the Jackal scans, but he can't because there's a Goyo shield right there, and Rats will find Vortex in the meanwhile. You had the Jaeger trying to take a kill, but unfortunately, he was taken care of instead. Drones will find exactly where Psycho is. Roxanne is low on HP, quite low, as more shots are fired, but Psycho doesn't quite get the shot off. Not in time, at least. Roxanne's been down in the meanwhile, and it's getting harder and harder for the side of MIG right now. They're trying to emphasize, but the smoke grenade somehow manages to cover around. How does he get away from that? He is still alive. More importantly, Roxanne has been revived, and he just about gets away from the grenade, only to find himself in front of a third who gets refragged. It's all coming down to this bloodbath as Psycho finds one, gets refragged herself. Z-Panda and Round, the last two remaining against the three of Kid Esports. Rats, Deathman, and Rattler trying to emphasize, but they don't have diffuser. That's the biggest issue for them right now. They need to pick up the diffuser, and they will nice and quickly. Deathmer has it in his hands, but he's dropped it off for the Sleds to take. Is that the best idea right now? Deathmer gets taken down in the meanwhile. Z-Panda with a kill onto him. And now it's all down to these last two. Z-Panda's positioned away, but he gets the down onto Rats as well. It's all onto Rattler, and he will go down as well. Z-Panda playing offense like a champ, and he will be the one to clutch it out for his team right there, alongside, of course, his friend and teammate. But more importantly, it was the Goyo in that situation, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful stuff from Z-Panda, as he, along with Mischief Gaming, are going to be your winners here on Theme Park, sharing the top three spots with Psycho and Vortex. 9, 8, and 10 to them, 13 and 10 to Deathhammer and Rats. But unfortunately, Kid Esports have lost this game 4-7. That is right. Mischief Gaming, the team that started out on attack, that equalized 3-3 on the round count, in the halfway point, of course, are the ones to win 7-4. Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic game to start the day off. And I believe Foxy has some congratulatory words to say as well.
For sure, for sure. Mischief Gaming, I think they deserve all the congratulations that they can get right now. It's more than just what they happen to put out. It's going to definitely affect things differently in the team standings. What I was looking for, because you happen to start a new season. Most definitely, my eyes on. All right, this one's taking the first place. This one's taking the second place. And now with Mischief Gaming able to come up with a performance like that, of that scale, it's going to make me reconsider my predictions. That's for sure. We'll quickly be going into reliving the moment that's right and taking a quick look at the highlights and what else we can see over here. It most definitely was a Mischief Gaming highlight game full play, but you just happen to think about it. So many things went wrong from the side of Kira Esports as well. Just as the approach towards their side from the attack was a little linear, if I may say so, because You see them making the push towards the end happen, except for the last two rounds, I believe that was. Every single round except that was Kira Esports just trying to make a very linear push workout that was just not their cup of tea. It was possible by Mischief Gaming, but somehow I'm still trying to figure that out. You see, Mischief Gaming came out with a very linear approach to what Kira Esports were trying to bring out as well, but it was still Mischief who won that. And even on the other end, it was still Mischief who got it. Mischief definitely with very mischievous plays, and just as we happen to think about it, these highlights are just as evident as what we saw into the match. It's just the fact that with these clips being fully influenced by Mischief Gaming's top plays, it most definitely does happen to make us reconsider the kind of a pyramid that we are making here into judging the skill level of teams into Division One. That's something at least my eyes are on. And this was a little funny moment. I was giggling in the background. Arthur just able to come out over the diffuser, just sitting on it like he's laying eggs or something, and then realizing, hey, I'm the defender. There's no way I can pick that up. No, I'm just kidding. He definitely did not think that. He knows he's the defender, but that's something actually I happen to do quite a bit. When I'm the diffuser, I assume I can actually pick it up sometimes out of habit. But yeah, that's my brain being lagged. We'll be taking a quick look at this mishap from Rats. How did he not happen to check the corner, knowing that he was being chased by Z Panda? A huge mistake is what put MIG in positions like this. And round, oh boy, this was his round for the taking. And this is not just that. There are so many definitive rounds for every single player, well, except for Raksan, into Mischief Gaming, that they were having their own performances. Like it's a live concert of one player from MIG, and we're able to watch them and witness all of this havoc just happen around them. But it was more than that. Shinra, though this attempt from him was good. It was a good attempt coming in from them. But like I said, Psycho always had everything accounted for herself and her team, most definitely. Look at this clutch that came out from her. Very evident of what I'm trying to say. Psycho, what she happens to present to the team, this information, somehow that was given away. The kill prioritization came in right into the advantage of her as well. The Zofia went down first, and winning this fight was just a piece of cake. Sledge going for that wall. He had no other option. Rattle was on 1 HP. Getting one bullet is all Psycho needed, and that's all she did. But that out of the way, excuse me, it was just Mischief Gaming, man. It was a good match, honestly, to start today off and kick us into this little fresh energy with a fresh map. That's something I want to appreciate as well, that we did not get to see Oregon at Clubhouse. It was theme park that Kira Esports and Mischief played on. So most definitely we got to see some moments like these as well, where I think Amar he thought he could take the advantage from the top. There's no blaming him for thinking that. But I guess he could have used a little more soft bridge. I think that's what did come out to lack towards the end. But hey, man, at the end of it, it is of course Mischief Gaming for the taking. I'll be dropping in a little congratulations from my end on a personal side towards them as well, because they are legit setting themselves up for the top spot into Division 1, and I cannot see if they'll be able to get themselves to there or not. And obviously, people, when I say top spot, it does come down to that top spot does happen to start from the second place, because Union Gaming has kind of they've performed a little bit too good, and on the addition to that, Monk has happened to forfeit a match against them. So 2-7-0s is really going to affect that scoreboard by a lot, and I mean that. It's going to keep them up for there. Let's take a look at that right now on your screens, what the team standings do look like, what we are able to perform, or rather what we're able to take out of this based on the performance of the teams. Union Gaming at the top, most definitely so, but Lies Valiants able to follow up on them on the second position itself. Mischief Gaming not far away. They've got that one loss on their mark. It's most definitely not so pleasant to look at, with Lies Valiants still able to beat them at it, but that's not a gap I don't see them not covering. That most definitely can be made amends to it. There can be something that they'll look forward to push it though. But Kira Esports and Monka S are age-old residents of this division, have been pushed back, with Mischief Gaming and Lies Valiants coming out to be the better teams. Honestly, that's what it is. It's come out to such a very good approach from both of them, and that's it. Back to back, it's them, and that's pretty much what Division 1 looks like right now.
And an exciting division it is indeed. I couldn't have put it better myself in this situation that we find ourselves in. And the more and more these matches pass, the more and more it like initially it looks like Union Gaming is pulling away, but then you have teams like Valiance, you have teams like Mischief Gaming usurping the long-standing members of Division 1, making a name for themselves here and now. And that is, I believe, the beauty of a league that runs as long as both the previous and this one have. You get to see the rise of teams like this, and more people start to take notice of them as a whole. And that is certainly going to be a positive message that we end this stream on, ladies and gentlemen. And I know, first time on Twitch as well, something we should have probably mentioned at the beginning, but it is what it is right now. Excuse me right there. We'll be going into a little bit of a break, if you will, starting with the second stream at 7:15 p.m. IST with two more exciting stream matches, and we will be back live on YouTube, Twitch, and all the other places and whatnot. At this point, I'm starting to lose track of the number of social medias and platforms that we're going on. But I do have to say, it is a fun time, and it's always exciting to explore these frontiers. And before we go, a quick reminder that Season 5 registrations are live for the time being. That is right. The registrations for the qualifiers for the final season of the Pro League are live, and both solo people and teams can register and get themselves a chance to play in the qualifiers, get casted, maybe even find themselves in Division 3. Who knows? There's only one chance remaining, and we will see you all hopefully there very soon. But of course, like I said, we'll be back at 10:15 p.m. with two more stream matches. Stay tuned.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart, 'cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out. We've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart, 'cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out. We've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. It's alright, so let's move on. It's alright, so let's move on. It's alright, so let's move on.